Hi friends, in today's episode of Journeys Within with Aditya, we'll take you to another tranquil place in Delhi where you can meditate, you can pray, you can just be yourself, as I say. This place is called the World Buddhist Centre. They have two branches, one in Ladakh and one in Delhi. The Ladakh one is a newer one. This center in Delhi is in South Delhi, in the Sant Nagar area, where the famous ISKCON temple is, in the east of Kailash area. So this happens to be a little elevated part of Delhi, being the tail of the Aravalli ranges. There's greenery here, and coincidentally you see a lot of temples. Probably historically the place must have been a revered place, and you see several temples here, and even I noticed three places which have a connection to the Buddha. One is this World Buddhist Centre, and then there is another vihara nearby that's called Jagjyoti Buddhist Vihara. I'm yet to visit that. And then there is a small hillock which has an Ashokan edict on it, having Buddhist teachings mentioned on that stone edict. So we'll cover that place also in one of the future episodes. For the World Buddhist Centre, this is a place which is non-sectarian, as in everyone is welcome. It offers you calm and soothing environment, spaces to meditate. The main shrine hall as you enter is freely available to all. Anyone can be there and meditate, and even the staff out there can provide you guidance or any information related to Buddhism. But in all, like it's open for all. You can also book private spaces, small rooms, meditation halls, and there is a conference hall inside. There is a library. So I would recommend that you go to the website worldbuddhistcentre.org for all the information about this place. We'll see the main shrine in this video, and so much beautiful artwork with which the whole space has been decorated. They have early morning puja ceremony, a prayer ceremony that happens from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. So I went there with one of my friends and we witnessed the prayer ceremony. So that's covered in this video. And everywhere around you had stories from the life of Gautam Buddha depicted in various art forms on the walls in the form of idols, statues there. And Gautam Buddha, I'm sure, needs no introduction. He was like around 500 BC. There was a young prince who went on to become a spiritual leader, and such a prominent one whose teachings, whose quotes are even quoted today. I guess the most quoted spiritual leader of all times is Gautam Buddha. You still see Instagram, Facebook posts related to all the teachings related to meditation, calmness, healing, and I guess this is so because none of his teachings have any doctrines or any instructions. This is my personal belief. All he does in his teachings is that he just throws light on plain facts and laws, how life works, and it is up to the seeker to experiment things himself or herself. As his famous quote says that be your own lamp, be your own light. So the whole focus is on self, the seeker himself or herself. It's not somewhere outside, it is on you, and hence I guess that is how going forward, like after Buddha, Zen came up, and several other forms of meditation which originated from Buddhist practices. All of these would be, anything can become a meditation, but if you go by that practice, as in all our senses, which typically we just notice the one-way channel of which take the consciousness outwards, our sensory organs, our senses, but if we divert the attention inwards, the same senses can facilitate meditation process. And hence you see there are no bounds. Like you see so many forms of meditations these days. Food meditation, where you can just by merely touching, taking the aroma of the food, tasting, eating it. During all this process, you can be meditative, you can focus on the self, what is actually happening, and you'll notice that you become centered. Then there are meditations related to martial arts. You can paint, you can do sculpting, you can make sculptures, and meditatively you can do basically anything meditatively. If your attention is on the deed, automatically the consciousness focuses and gets centered. So I guess all these modern forms that we see, contemporary meditations, alternate healings, in some way or the other find an origin in Buddhist way of life. Perhaps in the several texts related to Buddha, often his sentences would end with the phrase called Es Dhammo Sanantano, which means this is the eternal law. He would tell something that if one does this, so and so thing, result happens. Es Dhammo Sanantano. This is the internal law. Just for example, like if you touch fire, you'll get burnt or you'll be hurt. So that is a law. He doesn't say that don't touch fire or do touch fire. Like all he says is if this is done, this happens. My exposure to Buddha, of course, has been through the various quotations, the various lessons, teachings that we keep on seeing, which float across the internet. But in a big way, in a deep way, I got introduced to Buddhist way of thinking is through a particular lecture series by Osho Rajneesh. This lecture series is called Es Dhammo Sanantano, taking the phrase from Buddha's own sentences. It is a lecture series on Dhammapad. Dhammapad is the main book in which Buddha's discourses, teachings have been compiled, his day-to-day interactions, the questions that people used to ask. So those have been compiled by his direct and indirect students, disciples, Ananda, his cousin. Osho did a series of discourses on Es Dhammo Sanantano, in which I think I was fortunate to find that lecture series audios available online as well as for sale, and also freely available on the internet. So that gave me a good introduction to the Buddhist way of life, and it helped me a lot immensely. It connects a lot of dots. Tao, Zen, Raman Maharshi, and so many other ways, and the contemporary ways of way of looking at life. A lot of these dots were connected through Buddha's teachings. So I'll stop talking now. I would encourage you to go to this place, World Buddhist Centre, and experience things yourself. Just absorb all the art out there, or get absorbed in that environment. It's very near to the east of Kailash post office, I guess, or there is a cinema hall called M Cinemas. It is around a kilometer or two from the ISKCON temple, and I'll also include the map location in the YouTube description below. Happy exploring.